Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly. Welcome once again to Chill Filtered, the podcast where we drink whiskey so you don't have to, but you probably should, and you probably are. Hey, that's why we like you. This week we're drinking Old Overholt 10-year Cask Strength, a recent release from Beam. But before we get into any of the information on what that whiskey is, how that whiskey is, any of that stuff, let's talk about some business. Check us out on patreon.com/chillfiltered. Hey, it's not just what's in it for us, it's what's in it for you. Think about it. If you're at the $10 tier or more on Patreon, you will be a part of our drink-alongs. Shout out to Max, who recently joined on Patreon. He will be joining in on our drink-alongs. What is a drink-along, you ask? Well, we do YouTube Lives, and we send out samples via courier to those who are on Patreon, and they get to drink with us and comment along. And sometimes, every now and then, we will do a Google Meetup instead of a YouTube Live. So
much
you can
fun.
be a part of that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
the next
a new
one,
bottle. You go.
No, yeah. The next one coming up this month in May will be Copper and Cask. Copper and Cask. It's a 16-year. It's got Canadian juice in it, but not that that's a bad thing. But it is Armagnac and port finished, so it's kind of a cigar blend, as they say on the bottle. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out, Patreon subscribers for that coming up. So, and then we got some killer ones. We actually have 4 lined up already.
That's what I was gonna say.
And they're good. I'm really looking forward to these next 3 and 4. Yeah. But yeah, you're in for some good stuff if you're on Patreon. So that's the business. Here's the podcast. How you doing, Brian? What's new?
Oh, I'll tell you what's new. Hot off the press within the last day or two. Walmarts across the valley have been getting insane drops of Buffalo Trace stuff. And
like stag stuff?
Like
better?
Yeah, not BTAC, but just about everything else.
Wow.
So, and of course it's Walmart, and they don't have, they don't say limit 1. There's nobody there to police it, whatever. So there's like Facebook posts of people like,
case,
like, here's my cart. Like they like took a photo of their cart.
That's
and they're like,
move,
they're like, hey, there's a bunch of stag, but all I took was a case of Rock Hill Farms and a case of CYPB, but I left everything else.
Like Wellers, wow. And like CYPB, wow.
Yep, I know. So kind of insane. No. I've been purposefully not trying to race all over the valley to get stuff. I've been trying to play it cool.
What's that one Walmart west or east of you?
East of me?
Yeah, that next city over.
There's like nothing east of me, man. You might
northeast. Apache Junction.
Yeah, Apache Junction.
I went there one time to pick up some Eagle Rares, and it worked out.
Cool.
I was like, I forget what tipped me off, but it was worth it. And at that time I had like no Eagle Rare. Yeah. So it was nice to pick up a few.
Yeah, I tell you, if I had no stag, I'd have probably hopped in my car real quick and tried to get somewhere to get a stag. But like, I've got a couple. I'm good. I don't need.
And you'd also be really ticked off if you saw someone with a cart full and you had there were none on the shelf.
Exactly.
That's what I would think.
I know. Yeah, with there being no guarantee of like limit 1, it's like, yeah, you just found out about this. Yeah, there's 30 left as of 5 minutes ago, but like all it takes is one person with a shopping cart, and then poof.
Yep. So anyway, and then that guy.
Yeah, I've been trying not to get caught up in that, but it's been fun to see the drama go down. And like,
for sure.
Like there was a Facebook post this morning that was just like a status update. Just like somebody was like, I'm out and about today. I'll let you guys know if I see anything. And then like people are like commenting throughout the day. Like, I was just at the Queen Creek. I might've said Costco a couple times, but I mean Walmart this whole time.
Yeah.
I was like, I was at the Queen Creek Walmart. They didn't have anything, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, it's been funny to see everybody get all excited about it and everything. And I mean, it is something to get excited about, but I'm not about to drive halfway across town just to,
Even just talking about, the options in the Phoenix Valley area. I miss that. I just miss options.
Yeah.
Not just of whiskey, not just of liquor stores or liquor options. I just miss saying, I want to get 10 different options of Thai food. Well, we
Yeah.
can choose within 20 minutes drive. Or
Right.
like, yeah, like I just want to go to some barbecue and you have like so many options. Even if
Yep.
you wanted something so obscure, like Colombian food, which isn't super obscure, but it's like obscure enough to be like, it's not just Hispanic, Latin American food. It's like Colombian food, South
Right.
American, specifically Colombia. And you can find a place for that there. And it's
Yeah.
like, I miss that.
And
One
like,
day I'm gonna move back, but it's probably never gonna
yeah,
happen.
I'll quote you on that, man. We're clipping that. That is happening.
So Heather is, yeah, it's just never gonna happen.
Ah.
We both miss it, but she loves her
Yeah.
family. She
I
loves
know,
being
I
close
know,
to
I know.
her family. So
I that was either going one way or the other, man. I was thinking with the long pause, I thought you were gonna say
no,
Heather is thinking about it or whatever.
no. Like we already have Beck in school, and
Yeah.
we have her high school probably picked out,
Right.
probably.
You are rooted now.
Yeah. And I like Richmond. Richmond is actually pretty cool. It's
Yeah.
definitely not as much opportunity as Phoenix. But if you go to downtown Richmond, you have a lot of fun options. Date night, it doesn't get old there in
Nice.
Richmond. But where I live is 20 minutes south of Richmond, where everything is Walmart or Applebee's.
Yeah.
And so that kind of gets old a little bit. But I don't mind driving 15, 20 minutes to get somewhere. That's standout.
Yeah.
But it is nice to have closer local options. So.
Yeah. Where I live, there's a lot of new development around this side of town with a bunch of neighborhoods going up and everything. So it was a very like up and coming area like 5 years ago, and still kind of is up and coming to some extent. But it's like new restaurant on this corner. Oh, what is it? It's a Denny's. Like, there's not like unique, interesting places.
It'll pop up eventually.
I hope so.
Especially when the youngsters move out there.
Yeah, yeah. When where I used to live over closer to the Santan Mall, there's a really cool area there now where they're taking great care in curating what businesses come in, and it's all very like fun, small, trendy, like family owned. Like there's no you have to drive out of that area to get to like an Applebee's or something like that.
Are you talking about the Santan Mall in Gilbert?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the mall in Chandler? Fashion Center.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Chandler Fashion Square?
Yeah.
No, Scottsdale Fashion Square.
I think it's Center.
Yeah, okay. I'll go with you on it. I don't know.
Yeah. I used to live closer to that. When I first took my job down there, I used to live off Dobson and Germain.
Yeah.
But now I do not. Now I live in Virginia.
I love the like you said, options. Like we've been on Indian food kick lately, and there's like 5-ish within about a 15-minute drive from us. Easy. And we're way out here on the outskirts. Like, so it's nice to have options like that. And then like you can go boutique-y if you want to drive all the way to like Scottsdale. Like you can go to like the Keg Steakhouse or some like kind of nice but chainy steakhouse or whatever. But if you want to drive all the way to Scottsdale, you can go all out and you can go to like a legit small place that's not a chain, and love those kinds of options.
Have you ever been to that steakhouse in the Quarter in Scottsdale? It's not called the Quarter, it's the Scottsdale Quarter is the location.
You'll have to look up a name. Yeah, I know I've been to a couple there, but and I mean, are you thinking chainy or are you thinking?
No, I think it's a standalone. Steakhouse. It's called Dominic's. You ever been to Dominic's?
Yes. If I haven't been, I've just heard of it. But yeah,
it's cool. I'm sure you've been to the Quarter, the Scottsdale Quarter, right?
Definitely, yeah.
So it was a fancy place. I literally tried Van Winkle 13yr Rye there for like a reasonable price.
Cool.
But their steak was like lackluster. But it might have just been a one-off. It was kind of like weirdly grainy, the steaks. But anyway, it doesn't matter. None of our listeners care how grainy Dominic's Steakhouse was.
Maybe somebody had a Mother's Day reservation that one, and now they're like, cancel that.
Keep an eye on those ribeyes, man. So, really cool place. I like the Quarter too. I had only been there once or twice. What is this? Whiskey bar and cantina? Anyway, no one cares what I'm looking at randomly in the Scottsdale Quarter. So what are you entry buzzing on? That's what I wanted to
know. I wanted a 10-year rye. I saw my Parker's Heritage and I was like, nah, that might outclass a little bit. Yeah.
I should have entry buzzed on that.
But like, it's so good though, and it's so unique. I would be
it's better than I remember as of the most taste I had.
I'd be afraid we'd get into the Old Overholt and then we'd end up being like, it's not so. I wanted to give it an honest eval, so I stuck with something I thought was going to be in the same ish tier. So anyway, I went Redemption 10-year rye.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Cask Strength Redemption 10-year rye. It is what? I can't read that from here. My window's too bright. 116 proof. It's 116 proof.
Oh, you sent me some of that, right?
Gorgeous pot. Yeah, I'm sure I did. Yeah.
I mean, I had a single barrel 10-year that was actually really good from them. But they have a reputation. But that one's straight, I'm sure. But some of their non-straight ryes have additives, or at least used to. Which you can do for rye. You can't do it with bourbon, but you can do it with rye as long as it's not straight rye.
Interesting. I'm not seeing the word straight on here.
They added things, man.
Barrel proof rye whiskey.
It's got to be. If it's how old is it? 10 years, you said?
10 years.
They would mention straight if it was straight.
Must not be straight.
I
don't know. It's got a healthy amount of particulates in there. Looks
not that there's anything wrong with not being straight.
Hey, especially when it comes to whiskey. This is like it's got like good like bubblegummy and florality in here. It's like it's unique. It's definitely unique for now. I heard you clanking around. It sounded like a Jack Daniels.
It's the same same pick we had on the episode. On your interview episode.
First episode of all time for me.
Yeah, the Oak and Thieves pick for the Special Forces Foundation from the podcast guys. Nice. It's good. It gets better every time I sip it. It's so sweet, like so sharply sweet. It's so good. And
I feel like where my expectations come in, it's like times between when I sip it, I'm like, yeah, I remember that was good. Couldn't have been that good. Let me try it again. And then, turns out it was that good. So it's always like my expectations are always coming up from the bottom because I'm like, but it's just a Jack Daniels barrel proof rye. It can't be that good. And then it turns out to be that good.
That's why I have like 12 bottles of it.
I know. the value, man, the value. You're going to have to. So
at like $65 for like a barrel proof rye.
Yeah, that's right. So one daughter's wedding will have Eagle Rare at every table, and the other daughter's wedding will have JD barrel proof ryes.
I think what it's going to be is one is Blanton's, and they're around the year of birth, and then one is all. I think Gray will get 2023, or not 2023, 2020 because she was born in 23. Yeah, Gray will get 2023 Jack Daniels barrel proof ryes. Beck will get 2021-ish Blanton's, and then I have a case of Eagle Rare for each of them.
Nice.
And who knows? I might continue to pack on more stuff for them. So prep them good for alcoholism. So
you'll have a garage full of whiskey to give them by the time you retire. Yep.
And maybe me and their significant other will get really tight based on whiskey.
Yeah.
I'll be like, one of these cases is for you.
Yeah, and they'll be like, "What?
Yeah," and they'll be like, "That's like dust," because at that point they'll be dusties.
Yep,
they'll be like, "This is from the 2020s." It's gonna be cool.
Just to think about that
the
now,
early 2020s.
Yeah, nice, love it.
So yeah, So okay, check this out. I think I mentioned did I mention last week how the exams went poorly?
Yeah.
So it could be any part of yeah, it could be any part of this recording. I need to pause and make sure I schedule my exam because I still haven't received my scheduling email to reschedule this exam. And it'll be between now and May 24th. So I might still be on edge for another few weeks.
Nice.
But
So
it'll
stay
be
out of
nice
his
to
way.
knock it out. The nice thing too is that technically I mostly finished the exam. And I may have passed the first time.
What?
And so at first it was like we're either gonna grade, the first one you took or the second one you took. But now it's like, hey, if you passed the first one, we're not even gonna grade the second one. You passed.
Wait, that's news?
That's news. Yeah,
that's
but
awesome.
if you don't pass the first one, it's going to be dependent on your second one. And it's very possible it's going to be the exact same exam.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Actually, that'd be impressive.
And sad for people that weren't able to see the exam because I was one who got to see most of the exam. And some people have never seen it. So it very well might be to my benefit that I can study those topics that I was handed last Wednesday. So
yeah, we were hoping that it was like, man, wouldn't that be so great if you just pass, they would just let you just like pass. And you were like, I don't think they're going to grade both, but I wish they would. I think they should. So that's good to hear that they are.
And that's made people frustrated too, because there are certain people that weren't able to finish their first exam.
Yeah.
And they obviously didn't pass if they only did half of the exam or something like that. So for people like me, it's like, I mostly finished.
Yeah.
So it's nice that, I'm given a little more advantage, sadly, for other people, but not sadly for me. So
will you end up scheduling the second exam here, and then if you find out you pass, then you just cancel your exam or something?
No, so it takes 6 to 8 weeks to even grade any exam.
Yeah, right. But you have to sign up for that second one today, yeah?
Yes. But it'll be well after the exam I took the second time before they even grade the first one, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So plenty of time for you to cancel your reservation for your second exam then.
No. Because my second exam will be in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, and they're still
I won't get a score for the first one until after that second exam.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm with you. Can't blame that on the entry buzz. See, look, it's only gone down about a quarter of a centimeter.
What's the proof of the redemption?
117, did I say? I got it against a bright window here, and the font's so small. 116.2.
Mine is 134. Goodness.
Hey-o.
That's a high barrel proof rye.
That is.
I have one other that I think beats that one, and it's like 134.4 or something like that.
Nice.
But what do you say we move over to the history segment? We'll talk Old Overholt. We'll talk history, and then we'll drink. Sound good?
Sounds good. Yep.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, we're back. What a nice walk. Great walk. No big notes to get to this week. But this is actually our first Old Overholt branded whiskey on the podcast. It's not our first Beam product, though, but it has been a minute since we've had a Beam distillery product on the podcast. Take a guess, Brian. How long has it been since we've had a Beam distillery product? And do you remember what it was? Beam. But it wasn't the most recent.
I can't remember if you ever actually did these, but I sent in some of the
we haven't done those yet.
Experimental grain?
Yeah, not those yet. But
those never
we did
done.
something else that you sent. It was one of your favorite brands.
Knob Creek.
Yep, 15-year.
Oh,
that was over a year ago.
I was going to say that had to have been a long time ago. Yeah.
So, and then the most recent Beam product we've done on the podcast was when I was out for paternity leave, when John Hughes sent in the 60s Beam decanter, basically.
Yep,
and I got to try. It was pretty good.
I did too. Secret sampler, actually, for me.
Oh, John sent that to you?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
He did. And he sent like 4 ounces of it. He sent
Dude.
so much that I was able to take it with some other friends of mine who are Beam homers.
Oh, totally.
My buddy Josh and his dad. I
Oh,
was
that's
hanging out with
cool.
them, and so both of them got to drink some 1960s Beam, and they were like, they loved it so much.
Speaking of which, shout out to my mom who saw on Facebook Marketplace that someone was selling a Beam decanter from the 80s, like from 1980. And she's like, "Do you want this?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, yes, yes." Like, please, please. He was selling it for $80 for a 1980. It is a 80 proof, so a lot of 80s here. $80, 80 proof, 1980.
Nice.
But it doesn't matter. It's a crazy dusty decanter, and it might be
Yeah.
terrible. Like some of these decanters sour after a while, and
Right.
some like just like not what you're expecting. But it is
Yeah.
sealed. It is tack strip over the cork and everything like that.
Yeah.
But shout out to my mom who thought it would be interesting for me to buy a dusty decanter from
That's cool.
Facebook Marketplace. So, and
Nice.
shout out to her for making it happen quick. So,
Yeah.
especially on, have you ever dealt with Facebook Marketplace? I'm not on Facebook, but my wife,
Yeah.
it is the worst kind of people.
Yeah.
Like they'll post something and then you'll be like, "Do you have this?" And they're like, "Yes, I do. Do you want to buy it?" And you're like, "Yes, I do." And then nothing, like nothing. And like, they just will ghost you like that. And once they get you interested too, it's not just like, they don't respond at first, which a lot of people don't, which is a jerk move. Like whenever people hit me up on Craigslist, I'm like, "Hey, I got someone in front of you right now. If they buy it, then they're going to get it. But if they don't, I'll keep you in mind." But like, people are jerks. Like people don't realize like that you're excited to buy whatever that person's selling.
Yeah.
And it's just courtesy, people.
Yeah.
Courtesy.
And so like I've listed stuff and there, I guess there's like a button you can press to automatically send a message that just says like, "Hi, is this still available?"
Yeah.
And so I'll get like 10 people like, "Hi, is this still available?" And I'm
then
like,
they don't respond.
"Yes, what would you like to blah 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 blah," and nothing. Just now all I will get is a, "Hi, is this still available?" And then nothing.
Spots or something, man.
What is going on here? It's like
People
Facebook trying to make me think that I'm more popular, that my post is more popular than I really am. Like, come on.
It's a heartbreak every time. Dude, I talk about selling things online. One time I sold on eBay and the guy claimed that I sent him broken stuff when it was all sent in like a protected case. So there's no way the things inside got broken. And he said certain things were missing and stuff like that. No chance that happened. And eBay sided with him. Even though I called eBay and said, "Hey, here's what's going on, and I am not for it." And they're like, "Oh, we'll side with you." And then they sided with the dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
And
So
I had to pay out of my, like, I had lost the item and lost the money. So I just was in the, in the red for that. Terrible. And that's why I swore I would never sell on eBay again. And I haven't since. That was 7 years ago, probably. Anyways, let's do this. Yes, it's been a while since we drank Beam. And that was, I wasn't even on that episode, but I did get to drink it. And that was Robbie and John. Beam being such a big producer of bourbons and ryes, I just thought it was funny that we haven't done Beam in that long.
I know.
And we have done Beam Centauri. We've done Yamazaki 18. We've done Maker's Mark Cellar Aged. So those are Beam Centauri products, but not Beam Distillery. So some cool history regarding the Old Overholt brand I have today, which I knew that Old Overholt was a very old brand. I kind of knew that. My friend Nick and his wife Carly, they were given a bottle for their wedding that was like from the 19 teens before Prohibition of Old Overholt. And they still had the bottle, and it was like a little bit of a torn, or at least a faded label. And it had Old Overholt, the Abraham Overholt's face on it. And it was kind of cool. It's just similar to what we have today. But I knew it was an old brand, but I didn't know this. Check this out. It turns out Old Overholt is the oldest enduring American rye brand in the U.S. Not only that, it is the oldest continually maintained whiskey in the U.S.
Wow.
So continuously selling Old Overholt basically since 1810.
Dang.
It was founded when James Madison was president. James Madison. I had this teacher. So I went to James Madison University. I had this teacher that was a history teacher. He did American history, and he was very serious, like very to the point. Like he wanted to very much teach us about American presidents, American history, all that stuff. And one day he like takes this aside and like he's like, "Hey, I'm just going to take 10 minutes to talk about how amazing James Madison is." And it just was a little off brand for him because he was very like to the point. And he's like, "Let me tell you about James Madison." And he's like, woke up every day with 2 pints of cider every morning. And he's like hard cider. And he's like, he just starts listing things off. And then at the end, he's like, "And to finish, have you seen Dolly Madison? What a babe." And like, it was funny. So James Madison, am I right? Over 200 years as a bottling, started by a guy named Abraham Overholt. Abraham's father was a German Mennonite farmer from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. That's where my mom's from.
Yeah.
Who brought his family over to Western Pennsylvania in the year 1800, right off the Monongahela River. Nailed it. Big deal in the rye world to be a Monongahela rye. And so was Western Pennsylvania in terms of the rye world. It's the center of the original rye whiskey world.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Western Pennsylvania. Yeah, actually, it's really cool when you look into the Whiskey Rebellion and stuff like that. Look it up. Really cool stuff. I do not have the time right now. I wish I could. Some people are like, "Thank God, get to the whiskey."
Yeah, right.
So Abraham, Overholt. He was a weaver by profession, married into a very rich family, and at the early age of 26, he bought out a still house and started making rye whiskey. He was known as not your standard Mennonite, basically. I don't think Mennonites even drink, for the record.
No idea.
But within 10 years, he was putting out 15 gallons of rye whiskey a day, which is a lot in 1820. By 1832, total still capacity grew 10 times as much. And it was a whole family endeavor, basically. His kids were involved. Everyone was involved. He had 7 kids, for the record. In 1843, Baltimore newspapers had ads in it that said Old Overholt's rye whiskey was the best in the country, or at least those were advertisements. So
nice.
They kept on growing as a company and a brand, and by 1859, the distillery was built to be 6 stories high and was able to produce 860 gallons a day of rye whiskey. After Abraham passed and his grandson, Henry Clay Frick, took over, they still kept growing, producing even bottles as opposed to barrels, because the first bottling was 1870. By whom?
Don't know.
Old Forester.
Hey, cool.
Because that's where the Old Forester 1870 comes from. It was the first bottling. And actually, that's like of whiskey in general, or at least American whiskey. Because they used to just sell barrels, and they used to sell them at the saloons, or people would buy them or whatever. But
yeah.
So anyway, after Abraham passed and Henry Clay took over, they still kept growing bottles as well as barrels, ones with Abraham's likeness on the front of the label, which we have here. Look, that's Abraham. Abraham.
He looks like an Abraham.
Yeah. Get this. It gets sold to Henry Frick's partner, Andrew Mellon, the year before Prohibition, 1919.
Bad time to buy a distillery.
Yes, but this is funny.
Okay.
Andrew Mellon had another profession as well as helping make whiskey. His profession was Secretary of the Treasury for the U.S.
Yes.
And when Prohibition comes around in 1920, he had some strings to pull and secures multiple permits to sell medicinal whiskey for the Old Overholt Distillery.
Perfect.
Or the A. Overholt Distillery Company. The brand got sold a few times since Prohibition, yet never stopped being produced. As I mentioned earlier, it is continually produced for as long as it has been. But in 1987, the James B. Beam Distilling Company in Claremont, Kentucky, bought it and moved production to Kentucky. And that's where we are today. Beam product right here. So let's get into some of the details of this whiskey. Old Overholt 10yr Cask Strength Rye. This specific one is 121 proof. As you can see on the side, it was bottled in 2023. It was barreled in 2012. So undisclosed rye mash bill. And so some of the other Old Overholt products are 80% rye, 20% malted barley. I don't think this is the case here. Because the recent release of the A Overholt one was apparently getting back to the original mash bill. So I want to say this isn't the original mash bill. Proof for this release, 121, straight rye. So basically straight rye means that it fits the rye description. It is at least 2 years old and has no additives.
All right.
The alternative for like is that they could add things, or it's not, or it's under 2 years, So this batch was all selected from barrels in Warehouse V, as in Victor. Single story rick house with 12-foot high ricks. Barrels were filled, like I said, in 2012. Apparently, it's the first cask strength Old Overholt since the 1940s.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool. They did put out in 2021, they did put out an 11-year Old Overholt, but that wasn't cask strength.
Oh.
So, total wine price, $100. And I think I got it for less. I want to say it was like 90 something.
Yeah, Specs in Texas. Yeah.
Shout out.
And especially Specs has a dealio where if you pay with a debit card, you get it for even less.
Which I only realized after I purchased it.
Oh, yeah. That just means you have to carry your debit card around with you. I can't remember the last time I carried my debit card around, man.
Oh, I carry all my cards.
Yeah. When was the last time you went to an ATM?
When was the last time I went to an ATM? Been a few months.
Oh, months. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I haven't been to an ATM in like
sometimes you just need cash.
Years.
Sometimes people don't take like this week, my wife had to go to the ATM because she went to a tailor in town because she needed to get her dress for the upcoming wedding that we're going to tailored, and they didn't take cash, which is just, they didn't take credit or debit or anything like that. Checks, it's like
crazy.
Grow up.
Crazy.
Yeah. All right.
I guess
did you pour it?
No, I'm too busy thinking about ATMs.
So my thought going into this, and this isn't my first time, we drank this together in San Antonio. My thought first going into drinking this was maybe this has that Beam nuttiness to it. We'll see.
We'll see. Then maybe I should have entry buzzed on the Parker's Heritage.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. That one was so nutty. That was like a Booker's, but it's like a Booker's rye.
Yeah. Ooh, this is better than I remember.
Yeah.
Ooh. So let me give some nose notes before I give palate notes. It's a little alcohol forward. Definitely rye. A little bit of a sharp sweetness. This is so much better than I remember. And I'm glad I bought it. Like before I was like, nah, it's a good buy, but this is good. Talk about hard candy. Talk about toffee and honey. Honey caramels right here.
Yep.
You ever make a honey caramel?
No.
I have.
I've eaten both honey and caramel. This is like very caramely nose, and straight up candy peanut butter, like a sugar mixed with peanut butter on the nose. And I love peanut butter. Peanut butter is my number one. Like dessert, chocolate peanut butter, anything I'm in. I do not remember it smelling like this in Texas. Because if there was peanut butter on the nose, I would have remembered it from Texas, and I do not.
You ever go to Cold Stone?
Yeah, definitely.
So they have something called like peanut butter party or something like that. I forget what it is, but it is real good. You should try it out.
That's probably what I get.
If you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up.
If I have the means, I'll have to go to the ATM first.
Yeah, exactly. But that's a good quote from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Shout out to everyone that was yelling at their phone while they were saying that.
No,
You ever seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Absolutely, I have.
Yeah,
I just
he's talking about he's talking about Cameron's car, his dad's car.
Yeah,
and he's like, it is so choice. If you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up.
Nice.
I love that choice.
All right, this palette is so good.
Yeah,
big still sugar peanut butter on the palate, but it is
like
not
almost peanut brittle, but in a good toffee like way.
Totally, I'm totally with you on that. It is not heavy. It stays very, very light. I assume that's thanks to it being a rye. So it's very light and it's very peanut butter sugary. Peanut brittle. I do like the peanut brittle because it's like there's more like butter than peanut.
I'm with you 100%. Yeah. So like the first time I tried this, it reminded me of Booker's. It was like overly peanutty to me. This is really well balanced between like Booker's and a good rye, like a good aged Cask Strength Rye. It's the perfect balance. And normally I don't love Booker's for that reason, is overly peanutty, but this is really good. And so much better than I remember it in San Antonio.
Yeah. I should have grabbed one. Should have grabbed one while I was there. I was too busy picking up Rio and the Tokai, the 8-year.
Yeah.
Which is
I
good.
Remember we both
very glad I got that.
We both agreed that like this was like an okay product after we drank it. We were like, yeah, it's good. It like for me, it was like, do I regret buying this for about $90-$100? No, but it's worth having on the shelf. But now I'm like, no, this is worth it.
Yeah, and I regret not buying it. We were we were busy staring into the depths of the sun while we were drinking this previously, I think.
Yeah, I was blinded.
Blinded by love.
Yeah, after we kissed under the eclipse.
Okay, more rye spice with the peanut butter is really cool. I like it. So this is crazy. I apologize in advance, but I'm thinking peanut butter and jelly. And the jelly in my brain here is from the rye spice. And I'm just on nose notes, by the way. I did drop one.
Oh wow.
The rye spice, there's this tartness that reminds me of like how like a raspberry jelly would be tart. So it's like tartness with peanut butter. So I'm peanut butter and jelly over here. How about you?
Nice. I just smelled it and sipped it with the water pour. So the nose is the not the worst, the least of the notes for me. The finish and the palate take over in a good way. The nose is a little alcohol-y to me. Like it's just not much going on. Like you could tell it's probably a rye, but it is lacking in flavor on the nose, or at least scents.
Yeah.
The palate is a little more on the water pour. Palate is a little more light, yet still sharp, sweet, like a hard candy. And I think the peanut shows up a little more with the water.
Yep. So no peanut butter and jelly notes for you then? No.
No, but I respect that.
That's all right. I'm crazy. Yeah. I really, really like how light this is because it's a rye. And I really, really like the peanut butter going on here. I'm not sure how much more I can say about it.
What was the you read an article recently on Independent Stave Company being used by a certain distillery. I don't think Beam makes their own cooper or their own barrels, right? Was it
No
Beam you
idea.
were talking about? I know
No
Jack
idea.
Daniels does. They have their own cooperage.
Nah, don't know.
I don't remember.
Nope.
This is good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for the water or the ice pour.
Nice. I will too. Peanut butter, and jelly.
Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly. Now there you go. There you go. Heather and I will like break into that every now and then.
Okay, wait. This is going to be embarrassing if you don't know what I'm talking about. But what if I said, oh, badger, mushroom.
So that actually, so recently at work, so I went to Wisconsin. I went to University of Wisconsin, and I recently mentioned on my work teams group that, hey, it's at the March Madness, Wisconsin was playing James Madison, both schools I went to. And I was like, that's kind of cool. And my boss, like my direct manager, who's 40 something, he posted a picture of the badger, like the cartoon badger who's like this. And and I post back, snake.
Yeah. Oh, it's a snake.
And he was so happy. He like later told me in a one-on-one meeting, he was like, you just made my day because, and I was like, I didn't even know if you know what you posted because you're like, 10 years older than me.
Search for badger and that came up and thought it was cute.
Yeah, exactly. And he was like, dude, you made my day. Like it was like,
that's so great.
He was so into that old Flash video. There are some good old Flash videos out there. Some people think when they hear badger, they think actually literally someone this weekend was like, they thought of the Honey Badger video with Randall, narrated by Randall.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
it's so good. It's like Honey Badger don't care though. Oh wait, nose. It's probably the best nose yet. It's a little less alcohol, which happens sometimes when you add ice.
More candy
like
on the nose.
Potent. It's nothing like strongly whiskey to me.
Yeah. But it is a nice light nose. Mm-hmm. Like I would think that I was nosing a 90 proof rye that had a little peanut butter mixed in.
Yeah. You should mix this with Screwball. See how it goes. There is a little peanut butter there. So like nice. I'm with you. There's a peanut nuts, but I'm getting a little bit more on this ice pour. This is good. It's a great rye. And it does not go bad. Like the palate and the finish are still great with ice.
I get the most ryeness from the ice. On the nose and on the palate, I get the most rye. And oddly enough, it might be the most viscous mouthfeel for me too.
Yeah. When you add ice, it gets thicker in your mouth.
There we go.
Classic. That's got to go back to like episode like less than 20. I want to say that was like episode 12.
I thought that was a you and Robbie thing.
No, that goes all the way back to me and Adam. That I remember that specific episode. That was Rendezvous Rye.
Huh. Nice.
It was episode 23 was Rendezvous Rye.
Dang.
From High West.
Long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
5 years ago, probably.
Yep, easily.
This is so good. At my next opportunity, I'm going to pick one of these up.
Go back to Specs. Actually, reach out to Mike. Be like, Mike, listen, that's
Mike
Specs.
And he can pay with a debit card.
Exactly. He can pay with cash.
Same at Specs. Paying with a debit card is paying with cash for that discount.
It's like Costco. What do you do at Costco?
Wait, do your Costco's give a cash discount?
No, they give you can't use a credit card at Costco, can you?
you can use one certain kind of credit card at Costco.
Oh, gotcha.
It used to be Amex. Now I think it's Visa. I think you can use any Visa at Costco's. Okay. They changed it maybe about 3-4 years ago. Okay, cool. They changed away from Amex to Visa, but we have the Costco credit card because the restaurant cashback percentage is too good.
How many credit cards you own?
Own? I don't know. Maybe like 10 or 11. Okay. But like use regularly, probably like 3 or 4. We've pretty much figured it. And like I have like there's a Amex Blue that gives like 6% back on for groceries. So like literally all we use that for is groceries. Yeah. And like we've done the math, and the annual fee is, I don't know, $95, but like with the money that we make, if you subtract out the 95, we still like net more than we would with a normal credit card. So but like literally all we use that for is groceries. And then like the Costco one, basically all I use that for is restaurants. And then blah, blah, blah.
Do you, for your credit card or your grocery one, do you put that towards some like the rewards back to groceries, or like paying off the card?
Yeah, just straight up cash.
Yeah, it's like a 6% discount basically.
Yeah. That one is literally, there's no weird points conversion. That one's literally it just racks up dollars, and then it's like, you want these dollars back, and you just say yes, and then it just gives a statement credit. I think maybe you could get it back to your bank account if you really wanted to, but same.
I used to do an Amazon credit card. That was good, and they would give like 5% back on Amazon purchases.
Yep. Got the Amazon card, and literally all I use it for is Amazon.
Yep. Yeah. So I did really well with credit cards for a while. And then I stopped making jewelry money. And then I was like, well, I'll just pay it back. And I never got into trouble where I couldn't pay the bill, but I probably racked up a little too much. We paid it off. It was fine. But Heather was a little mad at me when she found out that I only had like $1,000 on it. Or no, it was like $2,000. Yeah. But I was paying all the bills. I was paying, like, I never missed a payment or anything like that. But she was like, why do you have $2,000 or whatever? And this is, probably people don't need to know this, but that was when I stopped using that credit card for a while. Yeah. But these days I do have credit cards. But the funny thing was, there's an old quote. It's from Rounders. You ever see that movie?
No, I'm not even sure I've ever heard of it.
Edward Norton, but more so the lead bill is Matt Damon. It's about poker. And he makes this great point in the beginning of the movie. He's like, they say that poker isn't a skill game, but why are the same 5 people at the same table at the World Series of Poker every year? Right. And so he's like, got this point. But then he says, there's a quote in it. He says, if you're at a table and within 30 minutes, you don't know who the sucker is, you're the sucker. Oh, that's what I always thought about with credit cards. It's like, if you don't know who the sucker is in credit card stuff, you're the sucker. And I never thought like I was the sucker, but that was kind of my mindset with like credit cards for a while. And like I said, I'm back on the credit cards, back on the drug again.
Got to pay it off every month. Yeah.
But pay it completely off every month. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And but that being said, great rye. Do you have a rating for this?
It's funny how we just get here sometimes. Sometimes take a step back and think, how did we get here?
Yeah. Then we bring it back. Bring it back.
Man, this I'm extremely impressed. Yeah. Man, I'm just struggling with saying that I'm gonna hubba what this. I want to, so I will.
I do too.
This is A+. This is A+. This is just great all around. I mean, I love peanut butter. So you know what? I think if I didn't love peanut butter so much, I might just give this an A. As far as like being a good whiskey, but its notes fit my personal desired profile so well that it is Bryan's A+. And like, I mean, we're over 9s. This is like 9.2, maybe. Yeah. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 9.15 here. I would prefer this to Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye. This is brighter, candier, Well balanced on the proof. Not to say Jack Daniels isn't those things, but the candy shows up a little bit more on this. The one, what was it, 121? Really good proof for this. I dig it. I think it is a quality rye. I mean, it's $100. That's one thing, which is higher than Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. But really, really decent rye. So well done, Jim Beam. Keep it up. I think I heard they're going to put out a 11-year cask strength in the next year.
Ooh, very cool.
I think. Yeah. So.
And that proof point, this is one of the few that I would say that I would add ice to this if I wanted whiskey and we were having a pool day. I'd throw an ice cube in this and I'd take it out on the patio, like because the ryeness keeps it light, and then once you've got ice in there and everything, you're summertime sipping. So I love it.
Good time, dude. And you got a pool. Lucky you.
Yeah, get out here, man. Come jump in the pool.
That's what's gonna happen. Hey, come whenever we do our meetup. We're all hanging at your pool. So I'm 100%. Right. There is a 11-year-old cask strength coming out soon, if not already out.
Awesome. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll, assuming it's obtainable in some way, maybe I'll skip the 10 and maybe I'll just go for the 11.
Yeah. Or maybe we'll just reach out to Jim Beam, which we've never done before because I'm scared to. But you are a Jim Beam guy.
Heck yeah, man! I'll reach out. I reach out to anyone and everyone. There's some other reach outs I'll tease here in a little bit as we're talking about some other stuff.
We got some good ones coming up.
Yep.
Yeah. So, okay, now that we've covered the ratings and everything, I think it's time for our next segment of the show, a segment that we like to call Whiskey World News.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is Whiskey World News. We're going to read email, not an article. We're going to read an email. Yeah, that's right. Today's email comes from 13th Colony.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we have had a little back and forth with 13th Colony.
We have.
And there may or may not be some interesting things in store for us and you from 13th Colony. And also, since I said I'd tease it, we've also had some fun back and forth with Kings County. So
Brooklyn, New York.
Planning a little thing with Kings County here too. So keep your eyes on your feed for those episodes coming up.
Yep.
But 13th Colony, if you're an insider, if you're on their email program, you received this email too. And I will read it for you now. Happy Friday, insiders. We will be releasing our new Cask Strength bourbon this month, and we are excited to share details about the product with you before it goes public. Insiders, we have listened to your feedback and our team has worked hard to increase production. We're happy to announce that this release will have 2 times more bottles than any previous 13th Colony specialty release, with a distribution footprint in 8 states at a friendly MSRP, which is $90, by the way. We hope you have the opportunity to try. So this Cask Strength Southern Bourbon Whiskey is what they call it, the full name.
America's Georgia.
The proof is 120.64. It is aged 5 to 6 years. The bottle production number, get this, I'm excited for this. There are 7,407 bottles. Yeah.
That's a lot of production.
Yeah, so they're doing well with their numbers here. Retail allocation, if you live in Arkansas, Colorado, Connecticut, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee, or Texas, you might find
not
this
us.
in the store. They even spelled all those states out, so I didn't even have to recall state abbreviation.
Missouri is MO. Yeah, but you would know that. You're from Kansas.
That's true. I did know that. The only one I get wrong apparently from previous episode is SD, where I said San Diego.
SD's nuts. No, you said at one point you said MI was Mississippi.
Oh, that's right.
MI
I did.
Is
I messed that up too. Yeah. So neither of those states exist in my mind. Online allocation. If you live in any of the other states, you may be able to pick one up from Sealbox or Bourbon Outfitters. Nice. So keep your eyes on your emails from those places too. I highly suggest you sign up for email notifications from them.
Nice.
Anyway, again, MSRP is 90 buckaroonies. So nice. Pick one up. Highly recommend.
I mean, the one we tried, what was it? What was the one we tried?
Did you try? I'm not sure you did. I've tried most of their stuff.
No, we did an episode on one of their things.
I sent you a sample of.
You sent me a sample of their 15th anniversary, but there was another one that we drank.
Was it just this
double oaked?
Dude, did you get the double oaked? I don't know. I can't remember. The double oaked is
something.
The double oaked is a special experience. If you've had that, I'd hope you'd remember.
Yeah, we drank we drank a hazmat cask strength single barrel rye.
Them. That was from me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, single barrel hazmat. Right? It was like 11-year rye. That was a 141 proof. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an 11-year. Mm-hmm.
Forgot that I even sent that to you, but yeah.
Welcome to being in 300 plus episodes where you have to actually search. Did I already do this one on the podcast?
Right, I know. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it though. Just wanted to chat about 13th Colony and how excited we are for this stuff. So yeah, you should be
excited.
Too.
I might buy me some on Sealbox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Normally, now at this point, I would take you into what whiskey would you choose?
Normally.
We are recording this early. We do not have results from the previous one. So if you wrote in, thank you very much. However, I will not be reading your responses today.
Sorry.
We'll double up next time. So today, all I have for you now is a question. And this week's question is, what is your biggest regret whiskey purchase?
Recently.
Yeah, recently.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Although I'll be honest, my recently kind of extends a little widely because about maybe 9 months ago, I don't think it's quite been a year ago, I bit the bullet out of curiosity because I love finished stuff.
Okay.
And I love just wacky, weird stuff. I want to try just weird things. And I keep seeing all these bottles from Good Times.
Nice.
So I bit the bullet.
Maple thing from them recently. I was like, eeh.
It's maple though. Like maple could be good, but I wanted to go all out. And if I was going to get something weird from them, I wanted it to be weird. So I opted for a double oak that was also finished in cherry brandy and pineapple brandy. So it was a double oak cherry pineapple Good Times.
Was that the one you sent me, or was it? I feel like you sent me a blueberry related one.
Oh no, did I? I didn't send you a Starlight blueberry because the Starlight blueberry is actually really good.
I don't remember.
Good Times. I'm sorry, guys, but that just didn't hit me.
You're like, grow up, Good Times.
It
won't be reaching out to you by email.
It was, it tasted very young. The wacky finish flavors weren't as wacky as I wanted the novelty to be. It just kind of tasted like really young, hot stuff.
Yeah. That's too bad.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like what's a recent bottle purchase that I regretted.
Yeah, because you haven't. Well, dude, if it's on your wall, you shouldn't regret it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There was one that I'll think about it. I'll just say this one. There was a Pinhook high proof rye that I tried. That was like, I want to say it was like $50 or $60. Was not worth it. We have that in the pool for re-entry buzzes.
Nice.
But it was kind of a young rye with some high proof. It was like 120 or less.
You're giving me ammo here, and so on a time when we have a hot rye where I can't remember I can't think of anything. I'll just say Pinhook. You know, speaking of things that may or may not actually be worth it, I got some samples from some Barrel Kings.
Oh, cool. Ayo. Wait. Are you saying that Barrel Kings aren't good?
I got some older batches of Barrel Kings.
Okay, pre-Matt Porter batches.
Yes. Yeah. I have not tried the Matt Porter blend. I've not tried any newer ones.
It's amazing.
But I will say that my opinion of that was that the dollar point, including shipping and everything, because I think membership is like $115 and then tack on $20 for shipping.
Okay.
So you're talking $135 a bottle. And I was trying to do my own little age guesses and stuff, like, because they don't have age statements on these.
Yeah.
It kind of hits me like a 6-year whiskey. Yeah. So, and I'll tell you what, one of them was a batch 7, and I was like, wow, this, because they have like 80 some batches out now.
Dang, good for them.
But this batch 7 was like a rye, and I was getting these like stinky gym sock notes on this rye.
Ooh, like my notes from Wild Turkey. What was that? The one with Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, Long Branch.
Long Branch, which was like straight up gym bag.
Nice.
Like notes for me. Yeah.
It was, I tell you what, to not be so jokey about it. It was soapy. That's the note that I think that you'd typically go for. It was soapy. I didn't know what was going on.
I hate that note.
But
since Matt Porter took over, it's been amazing.
I'm gonna have to get me some. Gonna have to get me some Matt Porter samples, and then I'll give you an honest 100%. Opinion. Always gonna give you an honest opinion.
Yeah, 100%. Even with Matt Porter stuff. Matt, send us something.
Ooh, I bet there's a Barrel King or 2 in Matt Madness this year.
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah.
And for those out there who are on Matt's Patreon, I'm just gonna put this out there. We are to be voted on in the runnings for Matt Madness this year. Consider not the biggest one. Consider adding someone who obviously might not make it. I mean, like, we're big. We're not big. We're like big enough to where we've been around for 6 years. But like, if you're gonna vote for someone like your average drinker, who don't get me wrong, she belongs on Matt Madness. But she's gonna make it already. We all know she's gonna make it. Vote for someone like Chill Filtered, who you're like, maybe they won't make it onto Matt Madness. Just give us a chance.
Yeah, your vote counts for more. Your vote means more when you vote for the little guy.
Chill Filtered as opposed to your average drinker, because she's obviously going to make it on here.
That's a funny angle. I like that. Also, by the way, Matt was still having trouble seeing responses to the videos, so he asked everybody to email in their videos. So I did that immediately before we started recording this. So we're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, we were already on there. People love us. People friggin' love us.
Yeah.
All right. So next week, we didn't talk about this, but I have something in mind, unless you already had something in mind.
No, sir. Let's hear it.
All right. We're between 2, and I have them right in front of me right now.
Ooh.
Do you guys remember our episode with the Perfect Fifth? We talked about a American whiskey from a prominent Bardstown distillery that is a 14-year cask strength at 128.8 proof. Elijah Craig, basically. Hill. But that up against a barrel product, which we haven't done in a while. We haven't done barrel in a while. Barrel Cask Finish Series Mizunara, which is a 6-year, 116 proof cask strength edition number 1 barrel Mizunara. Nice. So we're gonna put those up next week.
Love it.
2 Pick Tuesday.
Love
it. And we're gonna drink either way. So put in your vote. We appreciate your vote. That's all I got for this week. I'm excited to do a re-entry buzz after this. I hope I win.
Too. And I hope I didn't offend anyone with my Barrel King honest assessment.
No one's offended. Not even Matt. Matt's like, I took over this company and steered it into the black.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And but mostly, listeners, I hope that I pass this exam. But mostly, listeners, I hope that our love of whiskey lifted your spirits.
Didn't grow up good times.